In a world full of chaos where people react quickly, one thing separates the calm from the restless: the power to not react. Imagine being in full control, untouched by insults, steady in chaos, and completely at peace while everyone else loses their balance. This is the strength that comes from mastering your emotions. And it's not just a skill, it's a superpower. As Buddha said, you will not be punished for your anger, you will be punished by your anger. Today, I will share the ancient Buddhist teachings that show you how to control your emotions and stay calm in any situation. If you're tired of letting others decide your peace and you want to unlock the life-changing power of emotional mastery, this video is for you. Keep watching, because the path to unshakable calm begins right now. 1. Reacting is weakness. Responding is strength. When you react without thinking, you hand your power away. It shows a lack of control over your emotions, but responding after a moment of reflection is a sign of strength. Take a breath before you reply to anything. This short pause helps you take back control and choose the best response, making sure your emotions don't rule your actions. In the heat of the moment, reacting on impulse feels easy. But remember, reactions come from a place of emotional instability. Responding, however, shows that you are in control. The more you practice responding with intention, the stronger your emotional resilience becomes. Choosing to respond instead of react also helps you build better relationships because it prevents unnecessary conflict. The power of a mindful response lies in the thought behind it. 2. Don't let others control your emotional state. No one should have the power to decide how you feel. When you allow someone's words or actions to trigger you, you give up your emotional freedom. Instead, understand that your emotional state belongs to you. By staying grounded and mindful, you can choose how to feel no matter what others say or do. When you react based on someone else's behavior, you hand them control of your inner world. Taking back control begins by realizing that other people's actions reflect their inner state, not yours. Practice recognizing when others are trying to provoke a reaction from you and consciously choose not to engage. This shift empowers you to remain peaceful and stable, regardless of external circumstances. Reclaim your emotional autonomy by refusing to let anyone dictate your mood or reactions. 3. Silence is a weapon. Use it wisely. Silence can be one of your greatest tools in maintaining peace. When faced with negativity or conflict, choosing silence over reaction is a powerful move. Silence shows emotional mastery and gives you the upper hand by not escalating a situation. It allows you time to think clearly and respond from a place of strength, not emotion. Often, people react with words to fill uncomfortable silences, but silence itself can be a powerful communicator. By choosing not to respond immediately, you give yourself the chance to process the situation. Silence creates space for reflection, allowing you to control your emotional state better. In tense situations, silence can also de-escalate potential conflict, showing that you are calm and composed. When you use silence wisely, you're able to maintain control and avoid making emotionally charged decisions. 4. Emotions are temporary. Let them pass. No matter how intense an emotion feels, it is always temporary. The key is to not act on those fleeting emotions, especially when they're strong. Allow emotions like anger or frustration to pass before making decisions. By observing your emotions and letting them move through you, you remain in control and avoid reacting impulsively. Emotions are like waves. If you ride them out, they will eventually subside. When you understand that feelings of anger, sadness, or frustration are not permanent, it becomes easier to let them wash over you without clinging to them. The more you allow your emotions to pass without reacting, the more resilient you become. Practice sitting with your emotions, observing them without judgment, and notice how they dissipate on their own. Letting them pass gives you the clarity to respond thoughtfully, instead of being driven by momentary feelings. 5. Reactions create consequences you can't control. When you react emotionally, you lose control of the consequences. A single moment of reaction can lead to regrets that last a lifetime. Responding, on the other hand, gives you control over the outcome. By choosing how to respond, you ensure that your actions align with your values and long-term goals. Emotional reactions are often short-sighted and impulsive, but their effects can be long-lasting. By reacting, you open the door to consequences that may spiral out of your control. In contrast, responding with thought and care puts you in the driver's seat of your own life. The consequences of a well-thought-out response are more likely to align with the outcomes you desire. Remember, once a reaction is set in motion, you can't undo it. Think about the long-term effects before you react emotionally in any situation. 6. The power of pausing. A simple pause can make all the difference. Pausing before reacting gives you the space to process your emotions and make a deliberate choice. The power of pausing is that it interrupts the automatic reaction. In that moment, you reclaim control over your emotions and ensure that you respond thoughtfully instead of out of impulse. Pausing allows you to step out of the heat of the moment and observe your thoughts and feelings with clarity. It gives you the opportunity to assess the situation from a rational perspective rather than an emotional one. The longer you can pause, the more clarity you'll have. Even a few deep breaths can make all the difference in shifting from reaction to response. The more you practice pausing, the more natural it becomes, allowing you to navigate stressful situations with grace. 7. Detachment gives you freedom. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you don't let things outside your control dictate your inner peace. When you detach from outcomes and others' opinions, you gain freedom. This detachment allows you to stay calm and centered no matter what's happening around you. Detachment is about realizing that your worth and peace are not tied to external circumstances. When you practice detachment, you remain emotionally steady, even when things don't go your way. By detaching from outcomes, you release the need to control every situation. This frees you from the emotional roller coaster that comes with expectations. The more you detach, the more inner stability you cultivate. In detachment lies the freedom to respond calmly rather than react impulsively. 8. Don't let small things steal. Your peace life is full of small inconveniences and minor annoyances. Things like traffic jams, a rude comment, a long wait in line, or spilled coffee. While these things may seem insignificant, they can often build up and cause frustration or anger, stealing away our peace of mind. The key to maintaining emotional balance is learning how not to let these little things take control of your mood or ruin your day. When small problems arise, it's easy to react emotionally, but reacting to every small inconvenience only drains your energy and adds unnecessary stress to your life. Instead of getting upset, try asking yourself, is this really worth my peace of mind? Most of the time, the answer is no. Letting small things bother you means you're giving too much power to insignificant moments. You don't have to react to everything that happens, especially when it doesn't have a lasting impact on your life. Think about how often you've let something minor, like someone cutting you off in traffic or a snarky remark, affect your mood for hours or even the rest of the day. These small frustrations can snowball, leading to bigger emotional reactions later. But when you learn to let these small things go, you keep control over your emotions and prevent them from escalating. One way to avoid letting small things steal your peace is by practicing mindfulness. When you're aware of your thoughts and emotions in the present moment, You can recognize when something is bothering you and decide whether it's worth your attention. This awareness allows you to pause, take a deep breath, and choose not to react emotionally to every little annoyance. Another helpful approach is to keep things in perspective. Ask yourself if this issue will matter tomorrow, next week, or next year. Often, the small problems we face today will be forgotten soon enough. By reminding yourself of the bigger picture, you can prevent minor frustrations from taking control of your emotions. Remember, life is too short to be overwhelmed by small issues. Each time you choose not to let something minor steal your peace, you strengthen your ability to handle more significant challenges with grace and composure. You build emotional resilience, allowing you to stay calm and focused on what truly matters. Preserving your peace is about making intentional choices. By choosing not to give energy to small, temporary problems, you protect your inner calm and ensure that you're saving your emotional strength for the things that are truly important. It's not about ignoring problems, but rather recognizing which ones are worth your time and emotional investment. 9. Master the art of letting go. One of the most important lessons in life is learning how to let go. We often hold on tightly to things, grudges, past hurts, disappointments, expectations, because we feel like we need to control them. However, holding on too tightly to things we cannot control only causes us pain and suffering. Letting go isn't about giving up or being indifferent. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional weight that keeps you stuck and prevents you from living peacefully. Letting go can be challenging, especially when you've invested a lot of time, effort, or emotions into something. It's natural to feel like you want to hold on to what's familiar, even if it's causing you stress or unhappiness. But holding on to things you can't change, whether it's a past relationship, a mistake, or unmet expectations, only chains you to the past and keeps you from moving forward. When you master the art of letting go, you free yourself from this emotional baggage. You give yourself the permission to release the things that no longer serve you. This doesn't mean you forget or ignore what's happened. It means you stop letting it control your emotions and dictate your present life. You start to focus on the things you can change: your attitude, your actions, your response to the situation. One of the biggest obstacles to letting go is the fear of losing control. We often hold on because we think if we just try harder or do more, we can change the outcome. But the truth is, some things are beyond our control. No matter how much effort you put into certain situations, you can't force people to change or make everything go your way. Recognizing this fact is the first step toward freedom. Letting go isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom. It means you understand that peace comes from accepting life as it is, not as you want it to be. Letting go also means releasing your expectations of how things should have turned out. Often we get stuck because we cling to the way we thought our lives or relationships were supposed to go. But life rarely follows the path we expect. By holding on to rigid expectations, you create unnecessary suffering. Letting go allows you to embrace the uncertainty of life with grace. When you release expectations, you open yourself up to new possibilities and opportunities that you couldn't see before. Practicing forgiveness is a powerful part of letting go. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing bad behavior or pretending it didn't hurt. It means freeing yourself from the anger, resentment, and bitterness that weigh you down. Holding on to anger towards someone only keeps you trapped in a cycle of negativity. When you forgive, you aren't doing it for the other person. You're doing it for yourself. Forgiveness allows you to move forward without carrying the heavy burden of past wrongs. Another critical aspect of letting go is learning to detach from outcomes. We often become emotionally invested in specific results, thinking that our happiness depends on things turning out a certain way. But when you let go of the need to control the outcome, You stop suffering over things you cannot influence. This doesn't mean you stop caring or putting in effort. It means you do your best without becoming overly attached to the result. By letting go of the outcome, you find peace in the process itself, trusting that whatever happens, you will be okay. Letting go is a practice, not a one-time event. It's something you work on daily as situations arise and emotions come up. You might have to remind yourself repeatedly to release something that's bothering you, and that's okay. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to let go of the things that disrupt your inner peace. Over time, you'll find that letting go brings you a sense of freedom and lightness that you couldn't experience while holding on so tightly. In mastering the art of letting go, you're not only freeing yourself from past burdens, but you're also making space for new experiences, growth, and happiness. You allow yourself to live more fully in the present moment, unburdened by the weight of what could have been or what didn't go as planned. In letting go, you reclaim your power, your peace, and your ability to move forward with clarity and strength. 10. Control your response, control your life. One of the greatest truths in life is that while you can't always control what happens to you, you can always control how you respond to it. This fundamental principle is the key to emotional mastery and personal freedom. When you control your responses, you essentially take control of your life. Many people go through life reacting impulsively to everything that happens, allowing external circumstances, people's opinions, and fleeting emotions to dictate their actions. But when you learn to master your responses, you shift from being a victim of your circumstances to being the creator of your destiny. At its core, controlling your response means choosing how you want to act in any given situation rather than reacting out of habit or emotion. Life will throw challenges at you, difficult people, unexpected setbacks, frustrating situations, but you get to decide how you handle them. Will you let those situations make you bitter, angry, or stressed, or will you respond with calm, resilience, and focus? When you take a moment to pause and consciously choose your response, you take back the power that circumstances or others may have tried to take away. The ability to control your response is especially powerful because your reactions create a ripple effect. How you respond to one situation can influence many other aspects of your life. For example, if you respond to a stressful situation with anger, it can damage your relationships, your work, or your mental health. However, if you respond with patience and thoughtfulness, you not only protect your peace of mind, but also foster positive relationships and better outcomes in the long run. This is why your responses have such a deep effect on the quality of your life. It's important to understand that controlling your response doesn't mean hiding your emotions or pretending negative situations don't affect you. It means being aware of your feelings and then choosing how to act in a way that matches your values and long-term goals. For example, when you feel angry, instead of shouting or reacting harshly, you can take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is the most helpful way to handle this? This small shift in mindset can turn a possible conflict into a moment of growth and understanding. Another key part of controlling your response is realizing that your emotions don't have to dictate your actions. You may feel upset, anxious, or frustrated, but you don't need to let those emotions lead your choices. Just because you feel something strongly in the moment doesn't mean you must act on it. Learning to separate your feelings from your actions is an essential part of emotional intelligence. This helps you avoid letting temporary emotions create long-term problems. Building the habit of pausing before reacting is one of the most practical ways to control your response. When something triggers you, your first reaction might be anger, frustration, or stress. But if you train yourself to pause, even for a few seconds, you give yourself space to think before you act. This pause helps you see the situation more clearly and choose a response that matches the person you want to be, instead of reacting from emotion. The more you practice this, the better you become at responding with thought, and the less control outside events have over your life. When you control your response, you also take responsibility for your actions. It's easy to blame others or your surroundings for how you feel or behave, but that mindset keeps you stuck in a cycle of reaction. Taking responsibility for your responses means accepting that no matter what happens, you still have the power to choose how you react. This shift in thinking frees you from feeling like a victim of circumstance and helps you shape your life with intention and purpose. By controlling your response, you also build resilience. Life is full of challenges, and no one escapes difficulties, but how you respond to those challenges decides whether you grow stronger or feel defeated. When you choose patience, perseverance, and optimism, you develop resilience that helps you recover from setbacks and continue moving forward. Instead of letting problems crush you, you face them with a calm and steady mind. In many ways, controlling your response is the base of self-discipline. Every time you choose to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively, you strengthen your ability to make conscious choices. This discipline spreads into all areas of your life: how you use your time, how you handle relationships, your work, and your personal growth. With time, this discipline becomes a natural habit, and you find yourself better prepared to face whatever life brings. Controlling your response means taking ownership of your life. You no longer allow outside events to decide your happiness or success. Instead, you choose your responses with awareness, knowing that each one shapes the direction of your life. The more you practice this skill, the more control you gain over your emotions, your actions, and your overall well-being. By mastering your response, you unlock the ability to create a life that matches your values, goals, and vision for the future. Mastering the power of not reacting isn't about ignoring your emotions. It's about guiding how you express them. By using these principles, you can take charge of your emotions and live a calmer, more fulfilling life. If you found value in this video, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on emotional mastery and inner peace. Now, it's your turn. Comment below and tell us which principle spoke to you the most. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you stay updated with my latest videos on mastering emotions and living with balance.